It's 10:01. You'll take block on the front.
You mind correcting that?
I will. If you'll hold me up there.
The February 3rd, 2020 meeting of the Board, Newton County Board of Supervisors will now come to order. The Honorable Kenny Harris today.
Thanks, Joe.
Yes, sir.
Steve, will you lead us in the word of prayer?
Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this beautiful day you've given us. We thank you for all you've blessed us with. We thank you for this nation. We ask that you be with our President and our Congress, just help them to work things out. Lord, we pray for revival to start across this nation. I pray for these gentlemen today that you be with them as they make decisions that will be pleasing to you, Lord. And I thank you most of all for your Son, Jesus. And I pray that you just forgive us for our sins and watch over us. For it is in thy name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thanks, Steve. George, to the minutes.
Newton County Board of Supervisors met in a recess meeting in their boardroom in Newton County Courthouse in Decatur, Mississippi on the 16th day of January 2020. Charles Godwin was opening prayer. Present for the meeting included the following: Kenneth Harris, President of the Board; Jackie Johnson, Vice President of the Board; Charles Godwin, Joe Alexander, and Charles Moser, absent due to illness; Jason Mangle, Board Attorney; and Steve Seal, County Administrator, also President. Charles Godwin and Jackie Johnson made a motion and second to accept the January 6, 2020 minutes as corrected. The motion carried unanimously. Sheriff Jody Pennington met with the board to discuss grants with DEQ and MDOT. The MDOT grant will provide a van, trailer, gloves, and garbage bags to pick up the trash along state highways and state aid roads. The grant requires trash to be picked up along these roads at least 3 days a week for 7 hours per day. The county would also be reimbursed $10 an hour for actual time that the trash is picked up along these roads. Charles Godwin made a motion to accept the MDOT grant and allow the sheriff to use his prisoners to pick up trash along state highways and state aid roads. Jackie Johnson seconded the motion. Motion carried unanimously. Sheriff Pennington also discussed using DEQ grants to hire a solid waste officer. The DEQ grant, all along with the reimbursement from MDOT, would almost pay for a full-time officer. He discussed the beats splitting and an estimated $650 a month to fully fund the office, and would allow prisoners to pick up trash along all county roads. Judge Brian Burns met with the board to express his excitement in returning to Newton County. He has completed the moving of offices from Neshoba County back to the courthouse in Newton County. Judge Burns informed the board that his office would always be open to them and that he looked forward to working with everyone. Scott Smith, landfill manager, talked with the board about the solid waste officer grant. DEQ regulations and additional funding were discussed. He also asked for assistance from the beats in hauling ESCO ware slag to the landfill to use on the landfill roads. Mr. Smith went on to discuss the age of the garbage trucks and asked the board to consider purchasing a new truck. The compactor body from one of the old trucks would be mounted on the new truck. He sent the planning and development employee Lynetta Cooksey met with the board to discuss grant opportunities for the board. The deadline for applying for a CDBG grant is May 22nd. The CDBG application process must be started by March 1. The grant can be used for roads if eligibility requirements are met. The maximum amount of the grant is $600,000. Ms. Cooksey also discussed wildlife fisheries grants for recreational trails and walking track grants. She informed the board Sheriff Pennington had inquired about DUI officer grants, safety belt grants, victims assistance grants, and justice assistance grants. Tax assessor May Dender requested the board void tax sale for Edward Watson Jr., PPIN number 8873, due to a clerical error. Jackie Johnson, Charles Godwin made the motion, second to void the tax sale upon recommendation of the tax assessor. The motion carried unanimously. Ms. Dender presented a list of changes in homestead, real and personal property values for the board to review. Charles Godwin, Jackie Johnson made a motion, second to accept the change in homestead, real and personal property values as recommended by the tax assessor. The motion carried unanimously. She also informed the board that her office had received a settlement check from the Chapter 11 bankruptcy filed with Pioneer Hospital. The check was $2,788.12 and will be settled to the general fund as miscellaneous taxes. McDeal Road, Charles Godwin made a motion to close McDeal Road to heavy hauls until June or until such time as weather becomes drier. McDeal Road was part of Pat Harris's drainage project, and the culverts that were installed have not completely settled. Jackie Johnson seconded the motion. Motion carried unanimously. Twin Districts Workforce Development area. Kenneth Harris has been serving as Newton County's representative on the Twin District's Workforce Development Area Board. Mr. Harris' term is over. Charles Godwin, Jackie Johnson made a motion and second to appoint Kenneth Harris to TDWDA local elected officials board of directors. The motion carried unanimously. Budget for a new fund. The county started collecting $1 on certain records as of January 2nd, 2020 for archives fees. A new fund has been set up for the account for the levies. Jackie Johnson and Charles Godwin made a motion second to approve the budget for fund number 105 local government records office. The motion carried unanimously. A copy of the new fund's budget has been included in these minutes. Special docket. Charles Godwin made a motion to approve the special docket for the following claims. $49,400 for Pritchett Construction from B2 Bridge, Fund number 162. $2,069.77 to Tiger Commissary from Sheriff Canteen, Fund number 113. $19,750 to Southern Trucks and Equipment Incorporated from B3 Road, Fund number 153. $19,750 to Southern Trucks and Equipment Incorporated from B3 Bridge, Fund number 163. Jackie Johnson made a second motion. The motion carried unanimously. Fire investigator. Sheriff Jody Pennington has appointed Fred Hardy to be the county's fire investigator. He will receive $165.16 bi-weekly for serving in this position. Charles Godwin, Jackie Johnson made a motion second to approve the appointment. The motion carried unanimously. Maserati declared surplus. The allocated Maserati that was previously declared surplus is scheduled to be sold at Deanco auction. Jackie Johnson made a motion to sell the Maserati at Deanco auction. Charles Godwin seconded the motion. The motion carried unanimously. Page 3. Employee changes. Sibyl Williams, B2, $14 an hour. Terry Tim, Sheriff's Office, part-time $11 an hour. Tommy Boyd, B2, $15 an hour. Andrew Roberts, Sheriff's Office, full-time $35,000 a year. James R. Eddy, B5, full-time at $17.54 an hour. Kenny Eddy, B5, full-time at $15 an hour. Jeffrey Todd Brown, Sheriff's Office, part-time at $11 an hour. Jesse Tatum, B3, full-time at $13 an hour. Dan Boyd, Sheriff's Office, part-time $11 an hour. Brian Summers, Sheriff's Office, part-time $11 an hour. William Evan Kennedy, Sheriff's Office, full-time at $30,000 a year. The governor has declared Monday, January 20th to be a holiday in observance of Robert E. Lee and Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday. Ambulance grant. Charles Godwin made a motion to approve the contract for ambulance service with CareMed EMS LLC as presented by the board attorney. The contract is for a 3-year period with a subsidy of $25,000 and an increase of 3% each year. Jackie Johnson voiced the second motion. The motion carried unanimously. Judge Raymond Battle, Charles Godwin asked if the board would be willing to draft a letter expressing its appreciation to Judge Raymond Battle for completing the unexpired term of Judge Mark McDonald. The letter will be written for the board to sign. Railroad crossing. Jackie Johnson discussed the railroad crossing inspection reports that the board had received. Discussions with the county engineer and the state engineer will be held to determine the best course of action to take to correct the deficiencies. Roger Brown's property, B1, will be doing work on private property owned by Roger Brown and located along Beeline Road to correct drainage problems that are damaging the road. Burial of a horse. B5 will be burying a horse on Crystal Wheaton's property located at 770 Piney Woods Road, Newton, Mississippi. The death certificate from Dr. Melinda Barnes states that the encephalitis, West Nile virus, or rabies could not be ruled out, and in the best interest of public health, the horse needed to be buried. Travel approval for Brandy Thorne. Charles Mullins made a motion. Joe Alexander will second motion to approve travel to Pearl, Mississippi for 9/1 training on January 27th and 28th. The motion, I guess I need to put in there for Brandy, the other one.
I don't think they were here, Joe.
They were.
Me and Charles was here.
I'm
It must
sorry.
have been.
I'm sorry. I had to add that after the fact.
Sorry. We weren't supposed to pick up yet. I'm sorry.
Executive session on economic development and personnel. Charles Godwin made a motion to close the board to see if an executive session on economic development and personnel is necessary. The room is clear except for the board attorney, county administrator. Charles Gollin made a motion to enter into the executive session on economic development and on personnel. Jackie Johnson was the second the motion. Motion carried unanimously. And I've got my last page upside down. Y'all may be too. Charles Gollin made a motion. Jackie Johnson was the second motion to come out of executive session. No action taken. The motion carried unanimously. Jackie Johnson made a motion. Kenny Harris was the second motion to adjourn until February the 3rd, 2020. The motion carried unanimously.
Thanks, George. After this, to the reading of minutes, do we have any corrections on page 1? Page 2?
Down here on this, fire investigator, since we named him as fire investigator, that's solely on him now? Am I understanding that, how that's wrote?
That's what I talked to the sheriff about that when we were doing this, because we kind of split that up before, because Pete was in there. And the sheriff said, he's getting the money for it, and we're gonna make him solely responsible for it, so.
So that cuts your funds in. That was my question too on this. We were giving you part of that money, right?
No, I never was getting any of that money.
Okay.
Mine was strictly for fire coordinator. His was
Okay, this
for-
is investigator.
Yeah, for investigator.
Okay, all right, I'm with you.
Anything else on page 2? Page 3?
Just a clarification, Kenny, on that ambulance contract, I think the minutes probably should state, subsidy of $25,000 per year. That is per year, right?
Okay, and on that, Roger Brown property, it wasn't causing damage to the road was causing damage to the property. That's why we had to do that, where we cut a trench from the road. And the Charles and Joe's, that's been taken care of.
Yeah.
Anything else on page 3? Page 4. Can we get a motion to accept the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Is everyone complete to adopt? Could we motion to accept the document?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Kenny, can I slip one in real quick?
Go ahead.
Charles motion. Charles, yes, what, we had a lady, Will Pinson, came in Mike's office last week, signed a homestead on a new piece of property. And we had recorded the deed on October the 9th, on January the 9th. It had to have been recorded January the 7th to get homestead on it. It's our fault. After the fact, we found out the UPS document had been laying in there since the 6th, and we didn't get it recorded properly. So we called the Department of Revenue, and if you all will accept us making a mistake in there, we can let the lady sign homestead, and she needs to get it because the documents are there on time.
Could we get a motion to that effect? And a
You
second?
got a motion already wrote down?
No, but I will.
I couldn't,
Didn't know how to word it.
I didn't know,
She ran-
I didn't know the woman's name.
Shaquille Pinson, to just allow her to sign for homestead.
Did you make the motion?
I will.
Second.
All in favor?
And that's, you can do whatever you need.
On the recommendation of the tax office.
Right. Reverend George Hayes.
And the,
Recommendation of tax office or?
And
well, both of us.
Okay.
The maid called the Department of Revenue, and that's what we had to get fixed. It's our fault. She should have been able to sign homestead.
okay. That's all, Joe?
Yes, sir. I got more, but that's all I want to be sure
Okay.
Charles is still here.
I'll shoot you, leave.
Yeah, I'll do this, you want me to. This was, over not a reimbursement, but Casey Vance had bought a piece of land through the land, no, to an individual that sold in the land sale. And it was about 3 addresses were being, billed. And the address that should have been billed was 1449, and they was actually billing 1455. And it's just a, I guess I'll say a billing mistake for it'd be $154 balance owed on it, and I'm gonna ask that we deny that, because I talked to Cindy and Ashley about it, and they said they didn't know what to do about it, so just clear it up. I'm gonna ask that we, what do you call them, not deny it, but remove the $154 off of that piece of property where
Got a motion?
it is a motion.
I got a
If you
second.
figured out how to word it, George,
Yeah.
to that effect, and here's the, I might better keep that part, but you want this other stuff?
No, I'm just gonna put the board, the garbage bill on. What we need to put the 1449.
For the $154, just put the amount. That's what we normally do. It's just, actually, they had 3 made billing addresses. It's an acre of land that's right stacked in there. Just,
All in favor?
Second.
Charles?
make sure that the
I'll
girls down below gets that copy of that.
Timber bids.
I'll open you read. That may be a trick. Real terrible.
First bid is from Rich Tide Timber. This one side of the road or both sides of the road?
Advertising in the paper with one side, 22 plus or minus 8.
I think last time we bid on this, we got $170 fees for that. We hereby submit a bid of $12,650 to All Timber located on the above reference sale. This is from Lake Town. Says plus or minus 20 acres, so that must be on both sides.
One side.
One
Yes.
side.
This is one side.
One side, okay. So that bid is $12,650.
Kimberly Harris.
12,000 what?
No, she's the one that accepted.
$12,650. This next bid is from,
No, that's not,
This
that's
is
one
on the
except,
side of the package.
that's George's office. That girl, I didn't know that.
bid for timber, same amount. Cheney logging, $5,100.
Tanner logging,
Cheney,
Shane, okay.
AB, $5,100.
Okay.
Is there any use taking these bids on advisement?
No.
Do we get a motion to accept Lake Tom's bid? Discussion. Okay, you got something, Joe?
If we could. I ain't too sure we don't get back up and bid this thing about the ton. To where when we get out there, if we decide to cut all 3 parcels, we can move forward and not have to come back, and revisit this.
Well, we already advertised.
Well, but we can reject them, it's our own.
Yeah, you have
Don't,
to.
don't, and it's nothing against the way it's bidded. But for paperwork, on our end, if we bid it by the ton, then we could cut 1 acre up to every inch we got out there, right? If we decided to do so.
You'd have to advertise all the property, wouldn't you?
You'd have to advertise everything you was gonna cut.
Not if you bid it by the ton,
Well,
Well,
you'd have
that's all they go
to,
now.
you'd have to advertise anything that could potentially be cut.
Right, but it would be up to our discretion if we want to
Show
cut
me
it side of the road or not at that time, right?
6,000. No, just,
Yeah, I mean,
Jason, would that be a reason to reject the bid, because right here had to be a specs on
Future
it?
sale will be here.
Okay.
You still got 15 here,
Yeah.
this is wet right here.
but
I mean, that's,
I'm not trying to jam things up, I'm just trying to look out for. We need to go what we got, is what we'll do, that's why I'm asking you.
I'm gonna, after looking at this map, you may not, this is that parcel right there, it goes to landowner, this is gonna be on the other side of the road.
that's right.
Down through there, and there's not much there, if anything. So, I ain't got a problem with it, this is the second time we
You
did
got
it.
15, a little over 15 on the other side of the road.
Yep.
I mean, the primary thing I got going is where that future sale is gonna go. I mean, that's that, I had the government guy draw this up, 21 acres what it's showing, we advertised it 22 plus or minus. But for the future sale that's gonna go in, that's kind of the priority I'm pushing. I mean, whatever we decide to do on the other, that,
We'll do
I mean, I understand where you're going with the by the ton thing, I think you'll,
I don't think that's gonna exempt you from having to advertise by the ton.
that. Okay.
That's just my thinking. I mean, if you advertise on the 22 acres, if you go back and advertise we're gonna take per ton bids on the whole thing, you're still gonna have that period of time, I mean, a time period.
I'm good, I've been thinking trying to think outside the box, in case we want to move.
What is that, about 600 an acre?
$12,650 was from Richton Tire Timber.
About 600 an acre.
if all of it has timber on
yeah, some of it's real sparse values. I mean, the only one good thing going kind of in our favor, I thought. Right there, I got this is a 2018 copy here of satellite, or the photos taken. A lot more hardwood in there, but it's pulpwood stuff. I mean, it's not a lot of sawlog in there. And if you walk out in it, some places it gets real jagged. But there's some good stuff in there too. A lot of timber cruisers, but
Yes, most of the hardwood on this 15.8 acres on the other side. Yeah,
that's real
because
steep.
they cut up to that, when they cut this patch of timber here, along that.
Real steep, you know where you say you
Yeah,
want to
Steep on their side over real.
And I understand what Joe's saying, if we'd have bid the whole thing, you'd have got a better bid, bidding the whole thing, and come back and try to bid that little 15-acre strip in there.
But I mean, I just had a question, I'm good with whatever the board wishes to do.
It's board decision.
We've got a motion on the floor, we got a second yet,
Y'all can keep this copy, I got several.
What was the motion?
to accept the bid.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor? Richard Time, Timmer.
I'm gonna go. I'll be back when I get back, but, I'm laying there.
And I'm gonna bring up one thing on this right here, I mean, the reason we're pushing on this, is y'all understand, we're almost out of ring in that other. Our permit plays out in 2025, so we're not gonna make it that far. I do have permission to build up from the current level I'm working, I can go up 25 feet. We've got a plan to do that. In other words, when I reach the current landfill where when that toe reaches into the slope out there, we raise the roof. I can then start, instead of putting it down, we can put it up, putting it on top of it. It's a little hard to work that way, but we can do it. It's just, the sawdust is what's wrong. You gotta understand, they're threefold picked up what we've been putting in there, and that stuff really takes up a lot of room. It works real good, but it's really easy to fill a hole up. We have, well, I didn't, but I know Kemper County's getting some of it, which is lightening the load a little bit. He's just using it up there to intermix with his clay that he works with, makes dirt work a lot better. But that's why we're where we're at with this thing. It's really shorting the life of the longevity of the sale. And that's the main thing is, getting it cut now is gonna allow us to get in there, and I've also talked with a couple of y'all offline about this county dirt. We could start trucking dirt out there, and I know it's, every load we haul out there is less, we've gotta be excavated for the site to be prepped. So, just take that under y'all's advisement that we will have access to some dirt. I guess probably gonna run a lot of sand in there, as Kenny knows, a lot of those hills over there, it's got a lot of sand in it. But again, every load could be taken out there and used for county, work. It's just one less we gotta excavate as far as site preparation, gets into.
Let me step back and ask a question on that bid. Was that an 18-month?
Kind
It
of allowed
didn't
that
have a
time.
time bid, how do we advertise it?
It was allowed up to 18 months, that's how it went.
And all,
Advertising?
please,
On that advertise, on that bid advertisement, was it, state 18 months?
Hold on, now, Kenny, can't remember. Well, this is the second time we've run it.
That's okay.
well, Charles wanted to know.
We'll find out. You said the estimated time for that sale that you're working on now is 25?
Well, the permit's good through 2025.
Okay.
And, what the city will tell you, a lot of times they just hold up on permits. They'll probably leave us under that current permit another year or two before we have to, that's the class 2 that we're waiting on to come back now.
So you think actual time, so it's not gonna go to 25, so.
It's not gonna reach, I believe it's March of
Couple
31st
years.
or something, March, I believe.
You mean even going higher, it's not? Is that what you're saying?
Well, yeah,
You can have 25 foot down cover and all.
yeah, and see, right now, I mean, we've got a 50-foot
It
drop,
narrows
that
that.
should go over 50 foot. So I come up 25. And I do wanna start that at the very back side and work back toward the front, because I don't wanna lose visibility of where the U-ground's gonna be down there. If I start building a mountain out there, we're gonna lose sight of it, safety for it. So you can see your equipment and the people that are downrange, you know, you can see if something's going on. Couple other deals that's gotta be considered into this is that access road that we talked about on that, Kenny, but now again, that all this will come later down the road.
Now you're talking about here,
Parallels the, landfill road.
Landfill
right
road,
there.
yeah.
That's the one I'm more likely gonna have to use, but again, when we go back to re-extend the permit on this, I'm gonna have to see if they'll let us continue. In other words, the work and sale that we're getting ready to reach completion. Will they let me continue dumping on that and going on out, or if I got to completely mound that up, put an irrigation ditch around it and start a brand new sale? That's where we're gonna try to have to, and again, we'll work through DEQ on that as far as permitting.
yep, because all that's going to be bored and.
I mean, it's a lot, and that's why I was saying, I hope somebody can use some dirt, because every bit we can get out there is gonna help in the long run.
Some dirt is top.
Yeah,
Hmm.
a lot of singing.
Yeah, you're gonna hit some sand in there. That's why that old orange looking,
Didn't Dwayne do this? Didn't he work with you on that?
he flagged the area there.
On the permit.
What you talking about when
Joe had a question, ask him that question, Joe.
Since they gonna let us raise this sale that you're working in now up another 25 foot,
Mhm.
I had asked you earlier, and I asked Kenny, because I know he helped a lot when it first started on this. Can we not cover the whole landfill of that 25 foot coming back north? We'll need to know how to go about permit.
Well, actually, it would be coming back north and east, if that makes sense. We're working westward right now.
I mean, covering it all the way back to the other road, covering the
Yeah.
whole landfill.
You can.
I see, that'll prolong that 2025 mark. I'm just trying to think outside of the box.
Right, and that's what we gotta do to buy time on this, because, I mean, if they started cutting timber last week, you know, there's a lot of excavations gotta be done for your site prep, and you got I used Neil Schaefer last time for the,
Yeah.
I mean, this was prior to me getting there. You know, it's a lot of engineering gotta go into that.
You're talking about the road that comes in off
I don't know.
of Creek Road?
Yes, see, all the way back up to the dirt pit. We can't go all the way to the dirt pit, but we can come back to north of where the tires are.
I think so.
I'm
He's
not
talking
tracking
about the closed pit. Now, I don't think you can re-enter that.
Not even with this thing 25, I mean, they're allowing us to do this 25 foot here, Why couldn't we come over?
That other one, the one that's straight behind there is already at that level.
Yeah.
You can only be
Yeah.
25 feet above there's a grade out there, and pretty much this service road is gonna be your grade. That's about the same level as your scale house and everything,
I'm with you.
give or take a couple of feet.
But
They
even
will
if
allow
you-
you 25 feet above that, but that's the deal with your water runoff, leachate and all that, it's gonna be affected.
But I'm just trying to say, if we can cover back as far back as we can,
Right.
that might extend this a year.
You
Have it
can,
open.
Right, we're gonna have to do that to buy some time.
you can connect the two sails.
Yeah, you can, now you can connect this cell here with, that's the,
Here's your transfer station here. This is that big sail back here. This is old 1980.
that's the close landfill. Now, you can connect this to that, can't you?
The only problem you got there is you have to have water irrigation from your class 2 rubbish, which is here, class 1 here. There's a difference between the two and what you can store in there.
Okay, right, this over here is where you keep your debris. And it have to be a leaching from here where it can get to the.
Right, that
settlement
water
pond.
does not have to go, this one does not have to go in the settlement
But
pond.
this one does.
This one does. Anything that goes through your class 1 and class 2 dump or burial site has to be trapped in that, settlement pond.
I'm with you.
Remember, Richard cut through the old cut there, and that's just water that's running off of the transfer station down there. It's taken off of there.
But we can get a little more time, is what I'm saying.
Go get it. I think we could buy another year and a half, 2 years.
What's the distance if y'all are talking about connecting the two? How far?
You know, now behind the transfer station, the difference between where you're putting your limbs and that closed area, this 39 inches here, right in here.
Well, and let me share something on that. Asplund, if I'm saying that right, they've been here on us since about, September, October? I think they're working up north of here now. They're still coming to us, which again, not trying to run any business off, but we're making money. But I'm getting close to reaching my level down. I've already reached the length of that. I'm fixing to come back and build that one up, but I still gotta keep a slope in there. Keep that water heading that way, as opposed to the other way. I mean, it's a chess game to keep that training the way you gotta go.
Yep, and you can't mix your class 1 with your class 2, but you can mix the class 2 with the class 1.
Well,
That
you
don't
know,
make a lot of sense.
and again,
That's the way it is.
trust me. Well, I mean, it goes to the fact that you bring me trees all day long and I can bury them. If I push trees over on that property, I can burn them. That's the DEQ rule on it. I don't write the laws, I just have to obey. But one thing, like on our sawdust, I used that, and Hal said he understood why I was doing that down there in that class 2, just to buy me some room, you know, but if they got technical, Lord knows what I'd get into with DEQ on that.
Okay, so, anything else, you have anything else?
Let's see, well, just, I guess y'all gone with that on the cut, and I mean, as far as the other timber, if y'all wanna look at that, once they get out there and on site, you know, that's fine, but that's the one I gotta focus on right there, is getting that new site prepped and ready to go. Are y'all gonna vote today on the new truck deal, or as far, I mean, it brought up last time, y'all wanna wait till the other two got back? I just need to make sure that one's still. Cause I've already got some calling about the old chassis, once we get the compactor off, that's interested in our old,
Did you ever do that other chassis?
I have no bear chassis out there.
Jackie, you still don't need it?
Still interested, yes.
Yep, we'll act on that.
All right, and as far as, I guess I'm waiting to hear back from y'all, this enforcement thing, I mean, I'm kinda already doing that, and I just got one phoned in today. I have to go again. A lot of calls starting to come in about that, like this mattress dump site that we gotta go look at. And anyway, I gotta go too, my wife gotta have a go today, so, unless y'all got any questions for me.
I don't.
I think we're good.
Okay.
Thanks, Scott.
All right, Scott.
And that's your.
All right, appreciate it.
Couple extra days off, you know.
Yes, sir.
J.B. Anderson?
Yes, sir.
Okay, come on up, have a seat. Morning.
How you doing today?
How are you?
Good. I'm here representing the park department, Kearney Tractor, Columbia. Y'all, each district has an account with us, and I don't know if y'all are aware of this or not. I just came up here to introduce myself and tell y'all about our line that we have.
What's the name of your business?
Crane Tractor in Columbia. In Columbia. Y'all are actually in one of our routes. We come up this way every other week, and we also actually deliver parts and call them each district and county.
What all make tractors?
We have Kubota tractors, New Holland tractors, and we can service internationals. We don't have a line of international anymore, but we still carry the parts for them.
What's your delivery fee? You don't mind?
Nothing. When we bring it on, we got a dually. I'm taking over for he's been there 20 years. He's out right now, so I'm actually taking over for our road guy until he retires, and then I'll be full-time on his schedule. But we've got a dually that we load up, and we'll drop off blades, parts, whatever y'all need.
Banky still there?
Yankee.
Yankee.
That's him, Robert Stevens, yes, sir.
I used to deal with them all the time, I mean, for these side cutters and.
Oh, yeah, the
That's why I
tires.
used to get all my parts from them.
You got
Down
any
on
cars?
49.
Yes, sir, I do.
Let's say me.
Call them in the morning, they'll have it here that next day.
You want one?
Yeah, I talked to the brother, I mean, he used to talk to me through stuff many times, and when I had that old.
Oh.
I don't have any authority around here.
Okay.
Everything is easy.
J.B. Anderson.
He does have no authority.
He does.
Controls everything.
I mean, we have different lines of cutters, woods, rhino, modern. We can get parts from modern
You
cutters.
get part from Bush Shop?
We can from our other store. Our other stores in Huntsville, Alabama, they're a Bush Hog dealer, and we can get parts from them. So on those, they'll be freight. We'll have freight to us, but the other ones, usually we can do without freight.
They'll still do the Tiger.
Yes, sir. We had Tiger on state contract along with the New Holland. Kubota doesn't have a state contract out right now if you want to buy the equipment, but I think they're coming in April. From what our sales and parts departments, two different entities, so sales really, that's why I asked them about it. One of our other counties, Smith County, we're looking at buying Tigers and Kubotas from us. But they were waiting on the state contract.
Anyone have any questions for
Appreciate you
JB.
coming, man. Appreciate you coming.
Yes, sir.
Didn't know you out there.
All right. If y'all need, let us know. We'll be
all right?
Charlie got me, by the way. Charlie Stevens.
Nice to meet you.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it, man.
Yes, thank you. You too.
Bring us some samples next time.
Sam?
Yeah. Bush Hog place.
Bush Hog blades. Now, Bush Hog blades, if they can be gotten aftermarket, we probably stock them. Now, Blaze is a different entity. Haven Steel is where we get our blades from.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Brian, if you want to see the board?
Yes, sir, I got several things that probably need to be brought before you. I don't know if you want to wait till, you want to executive session about the
Personnel issues.
Not all of it, but, some of it is, yes, sir.
Okay, let's take care of what you got. It's
Okay. UMass and Caramel, they just took over. I just want to give you guys a kind of an update with those guys. Everything went as smoothly as possible, with the swap over. Pretty much know they've got just a few minor things we worked through about who was going to be responsible for what things. And at this time, I think everything's running fairly smoothly. Those guys were here this morning. They had to go get some supplies. They had planned on being back to see if you guys had any questions. They still may show up before the board meeting's over with. I don't know. Patient Care worked really smoothly with us on the transition, as well as making sure that that happened at a reasonable hour rather than at midnight. So we actually swapped over at 1800 on Friday night, and straight up 1800.
6 p.m.
That'd be 6 p.m. Yes, sir. Straight up 6 p.m. All the Patient Care trucks were on calls. And we had a infant that was choking at Ward's on the French fry, so that was their very first call that they took in our county, was right here at straight up 6 o'clock. And I'm thankful they were here, because this past week, y'all probably heard the lights and sirens passing through, but we've run more calls than this past month, in the month of January, than we did in 2 or 3 months, the 2 or 3 last months.
Was the child okay, by the way?
The child was okay, and they did transport to the hospital. Working through some radio communications issues, so if you hear something from your fire departments, they don't have VHF radios in their trucks. They will today, by this afternoon. Right now, we're working off of 700 to be able to communicate with them. After this afternoon, they'll have 700 and VHF in their trucks. So that may be the only complaint that you guys might hear out of your fire departments. But I would at least wanted you guys to know about it in case you heard it from somebody on the outside. I've sent emails out to them, letting them know how to get in touch with these guys, gave them phone numbers to each one of the trucks, so that way they can call them, and let them know that we also can relay any communications that we have through our dispatch center to the fire departments. So,
Ryan, they've got 3 new ambulances plus hours in the county, is that right?
that's right. And right now, there are 3 operational trucks, 24 hours a day. Right now, the 4th truck, they're working out logistics on how they're gonna make that a call-in truck, and he's gonna put something in writing so that we know when to utilize the 4th truck versus to call for mutual aid assistance from another county. So some of it's logistical stuff that we're still working through that should be worked out this week. Matter of fact, within the next couple of days here.
They're stationed in Union, Decatur, and
Union, Decatur, and Newton, same locations what they have always been. And I'm trying to think of some of the questions I've been asked. One, communication. 2, how are they going to get their supplies here was another big one. They're drop shipping everything. So as they need supplies, as stuff gets used off the trucks, they've got a computer system. As it gets utilized, their system reorders and it drop ships at FedEx to the Decatur office, and then they distribute those supplies from there. So, anything else about the CareMed? Any other questions and concerns? Anything y'all heard?
how many
Good, bad?
employees did they wind up hiring?
From our old service, our people that was in Newton County, is that what you're talking about? So, I'm gonna guess here and say, because I don't know right off the top side of my head, there's probably 6 or 8 that stayed. The rest of them was by their choice that they decided to go somewhere else. So the option was there to hire them, they just chose not to. And personally, haven't met all the crew members yet. I'm sure I will over the next few days. Like I said, we just took over Friday. Some of our hometown people, Scott Gordon is here, Cooper, which one of the paramedics that retired military, is now working with us. He's been with us for a little time. He's a hometown guy. Chris Ellis, Drew Gillis. Can't think of any more right off the top of my head. Jake Bond, yeah. And there's little Arthur Boyd, what's his name? Chase Arthur, Clay Arthur's son. He stayed. He hired on new with this company. So we still have a bunch of our hometown people that actually live in Newton County working for this company. Maybe 1 or 2 that's outside, but for the most part, the majority is hometown folks. The Decatur dispatch stuff, I know that the mayor has brought that up to the Board of Aldermen a couple of different times already. And after speaking with him, we may be to a point that we might need, as the board might need to make a decision of some sort to set some sort of timeline there, or decide maybe how they're gonna handle that. He even mentioned maybe they're probably just gonna keep pushing that boat down the road as long as we allow them to do that. So, he said he's done all he can do as far as to try to persuade them and to try to come up here, and he has worked with me and he's worked with you guys on try to come to some sort of bargaining agreement, and we've worked with them. We've lowered those numbers from where they were considerably based off of some census stuff and the East Central Community College and a few things like that. So,
So the billing started
last
August?
year, last August, I believe, yes, sir. We're several months into this now.
We
About
haven't
6 months
received
or 7 months.
nothing.
Nothing yet. It'll be at this point right at probably a little over $10,000 that we, if you backed up, and that was one of the things that me and the mayor kind of discussed, like, if we could give them a sign off on it, I'm sure that, I think they talked to a couple of you guys, maybe waiving what we, from the August to now, if you'll just sign it now, moving forward, we will, you know, and he brought that up to them, they were not interested in that either, so it was like, that was like a $10,000 amount that we would have potentially have wrote off, and they were not interested in that, so that's off the table now too, so. Anyways, that may be something we wanna discuss a little more later or offline with each one of us, whatever you wanna do that, I just wanna at least bring it to the board, that was kinda still open, and there's something we probably should close. You wanna hold on that, or what's your favor of the board?
Let's get the whole board here on that.
Surplus, I got a list of surplus, I know, Steve's gonna bring that up to add to the minutes later, but the one thing I did wanna mention about that, there's a number of computers, electronic, components, keyboard, screens, stuff like that. One, my intention was to ask the board if you did surplus the equipment, would you, allow the fire departments to have access to be able to utilize that equipment? After Friday afternoon, it's sitting down there in a corner of my office. CareMed said, look, if you guys will put this on the board and put it up for bid, he said, we would be interested in bidding on some, because we have to have computers for our offices that we don't have right now either, so.
I got to thinking about that, you know, we talked to the audit department, we could not give the trucks to the fire department without some kind of agreement. It'd be the same thing with computers.
Computers.
Well, the pyramid, they that was everybody.
CareMed bought
If they
them.
bought them, yeah, that would be that'd put a little bit of money back into,
How old were
whatever
those
those.
computers?
They have operating system Windows 7, which as of here in just a few months, it's no longer be supported. That's why I took them off of our
I don't
network.
see much value if you can get moving.
Actually, holes in it and will allow viruses in if we don't upgrade. So I decided to pull them out of my.
So what
off of our
use would
network.
they have for it?
Well,
They could upgrade.
Upgrade and use the hardware.
Is that financially feasible?
for us,
Not for
no.
them.
For them,
Must be,
maybe.
if they said they were interested.
Here's the other thing, they're not actually attached to a network, so they're not, don't have servers, they don't have actual network that they're, so it wouldn't corrupt.
Back and forth.
It would corrupt just one computer rather than, for us, it would corrupt potentially our computers, our 911 system, our, you know, millions of dollars for us. That's why I took them offline. For them, it'd be just whatever they buy a computer for.
Kenny, would you accept the motion to put these?
Let's go ahead and do that now, get that off the list.
I do make a motion that on Brian's recommendation, we put this surplus equipment posted on the board, or however you want to do it.
There's some of it that will be, it's gonna be trash, the other portions of it that we can post on the board there and utilize for, to get money.
You got information on them that need to be deleted?
If you add,
I
you
did,
want
yes,
to
sir.
declare surplus on
I was gonna say, we should have done that first, right?
Yep, that's right.
So, yes, I will make the motion, we declare this equipment mentioned by Brian as surplus, and then put it up for bids as Steve sees the best way to do it.
Second, Mr. President.
All in favor? What you got for us, Mark?
And I know Steve's got my travel dates, he'll share those, that'd be quicker, so that way you guys can continue moving on. Once you guys get to the point where you need me, I'll be around there.
Why don't I just read it out while you hear your travel stuff?
Yes, sir,
Brandon Norton to hostage negotiations and talk tactics, February 10th to 11th, cost $300. Fred Hardy, County Fire Investigator, February 10th, 13th, location Pearl, cost $100. Bridget Cater and Caleb Rice, EMA class ICS 300, February 11th, 13th, in Meridian, cost is $0. Bridget Cater and Caleb Rice, EMA class ICS 400, February 26th and 27th, in Meridian, cost is $0. And Brian Taylor, Fire Coordinator, Regional meeting, February 13th, in Rankin County. So we need a motion to approve that if y'all do so.
Go get a motion.
I'll make the motion, Mr. President.
Can I ask a question? Brian, do you need to go to that February 13th meeting?
I hope so, after today. We'll discuss that. If you wanna hold that, then,
Okay,
Somebody will need to go.
okay.
yeah, whether it's me or somebody else.
Go get a second.
Second.
All in favor? What else you got for us?
That's it, sir.
Thanks, Brian.
Thank you.
May, you wanna come on
See
up?
you in a while.
But I need to get some.
Well, go get it. What's the matter? Hey, mate.
May they did approve Shaquille Thompson's homestead.
Well, we got it,
But you
loaded
need,
on the computer, but take.
you need to go back and get something else?
No, my little list I usually have for y'all is not ready, cause we, just go a little running. But I got some that I need approval on, some homesteads I need approval on, so we can not get too bogged down. That's like the over 65 and disability that we need to do, changes and refunds too. I don't want them to get behind on me, so I'm gonna bring them to you. And George, you're gonna have to write these. Ralph Norman, disability homestead. Joseph Barrett, over 65. Deletion on Kimberly Lindsley because it was some damage to that house last year and we removed it.
Kimberly, who?
Lindsley. We removed it, so that deleted the homestead, but I need that on file that we did delete the homestead. Jason Petley started,
Getting away?
Petley,
There.
P-E-T-W-A-Y,
Okay.
disability. Sylvia Johnson. Railroad disability. Edgar Pooh. Disability.
Well, this is.
Heard it, sir? Oh, Harold Laird. And I'm ashamed of this. Over 65. He done missed all this time. And he in office, I mean, we talk, I don't know.
Harold Laird from out here, he should be getting it for 20 years.
Belinda Connor,
Who?
Belinda Connor, C-O-N-N-E-R. Over 65. Stephen Owens. Disability.
Ralph Norman, how long has he missed?
About 4 years. His wife, I didn't know. No, you're talking about the other one, ain't you? Not Brad. Brad was the one, a little slim, bit of.
Okay,
Not, you talking about Billy.
yeah, that's right, okay. Not the old man. He's not still living, the old.
Oh, no, they dead, passed
Yeah.
away. Theirs.
Could we get a motion to accept these changes on the recommendation of tax assessor?
So moved. Second.
All in favor? What else you got?
That's all I wanted to do today.
Okay.
I just
Thank you,
I
ma'am.
don't want that to get behind me.
Maggie,
Thank you.
I wanted to tell you offline, just in case you hadn't heard. Say what line you see.
Yeah, Butler, you know, I see Butler.
Yeah, about 45. I didn't know if you'd heard.
Yeah, Butler came in and told me, he went down and talked to Butler.
Okay.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Jason, this is,
How y'all doing today?
you 5 minutes, sir.
I
You
know.
on time getting it, but
I was gonna bring back some couple of things that we have coming up that the board's taken part in the last couple of years. We got the Profile magazine coming up in March. I think it- got 3 of these. I brought a copy of the magazine in case y'all. It was a half-page ad in this one. I brought by it's a, go ahead and hand these out to you. It's a list of everything that's coming up on the year and then which I did the last couple of years on, just for reference. And it might be a little bit too much digest right now, but it's for. And what I'll do with these, eventually, it might be in 2 weeks, the next meeting, come back with a proposal that allows y'all to look at all of them at one time and get a discount on them. And it's just kind of, it's just an option for, I guess, getting it up front rather than going step, as each comes up.
Could you get us back to that before we have to do something on this profile, that may allow us to do something?
Well, if we, what we would do is just add the decision in and be able to kind of go back and include it within the numbers. Kind of go back and prorate it for the decisions made today and be able to apply the discount to it. Because it'd be, I guess, I think it was like a 15%, 25%, just different options on the proposals. But if you able to go back and get these in there, the only thing about this, these would be, I guess, deadline date before the next meeting.
You said a deadline will be before, okay. Before the next board meeting.
I think so. On both of these.
Okay, February 28th deadline.
And I guess I'll go ahead. It's just the other one. It's just kind of the same thing. But those are the 2 specials that would be for this year. I mean this month, before next meeting. And that Pitch Perfect is a spring sports guide. It covers baseball, softball, and tennis for all of the county schools and East Central and Lake.
We're gonna resolve when Charles Smokes get back. We'll look at this.
Yes.
I will look at it and we'll make a decision on what we,
And those
what
two really,
suspension on.
the only ones, I guess, need to make a decision on. That other sheet was just for a reference right now, and I'll come
Yeah.
back with something on it.
Okay, so actually this one here is the one that we actually, deadline February 12th?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay.
And that profile, that's not after next meeting? There'll be another meeting before that deadline?
Yeah,
Okay,
that's 29th. That's the 28th, February 28th.
all right. Well,
And you did say if we went ahead and done both of them, that would be a credit. But there's other that you can bring back later as far as the pricing.
yes, sir. I'll bring the proposals back. That'll include some options for going ahead and selecting the special sections that you maybe want to take in over the course of the entire year. Making that decision up front would just allow us to, you know, put some proposals together that have discounts applied.
Okay, but that don't affect any of these.
Those would be included, well, say you decided to go with that one,
Yeah.
we would include it within the package, so we'd go back and, I guess, prorate it towards the package after it, so,
We'll look at it before the day is over. We're gonna be here a while.
I'm gonna leave this here for you, that's the, section we used did last year with it.
Okay.
Well, I appreciate y'all's time on it, if there's anything I can do for you, you got any questions, just let me know.
All right, thank you, Jason.
Y'all,
You need this back?
y'all welcome, gentlemen.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Wayne.
Hey. Hey, y'all.
Wayne.
Good news, bad news, we on first.
Okay.
All those good news for we here, baby.
Alright, good news, we got our money for our board term, you know, each board term, state aid gives the county money. So, here y'all some. Did you, have you got a letter like that?
I think I put it on Steve's, I think that.
Is it like that?
The whole,
Or what?
it was the whole amount of money that we got, I think I could say.
Okay, well,
What is it, just over two?
it's about 2 million.
That's what I thought.
Is that 2.5 or 1.9?
2.079.
Yes.
What's the number, Joe?
2.079.
Give Jason one,
478.
we want you to see that or not?
It's on the third page, y'all.
Got to go to the back.
It's on the back. Have you got a letter like that, Steve?
It's like 2.8. You don't see them, right?
That's what you said.
2.853.
All right, so you got
That's the road and bridge.
state aid program, that's in projects that start off with SAP, whatever. So that's about $2 million, right? Just a little bit over 2 million.
That's for the 4 years.
That's for 4 years, which is not a whole lot of money, if not, when you spread it out, but.
No, we don't get that.
It's all in B4, it'd be all right.
Yeah, if you could put all that in one bead, it'd be great. So see your LSBP, see down below, that's the project start off with LSBP, something. And we got that much, 500, well, we got,
773.
yeah, 773.
One big bridge.
So
4 years.
you can't really add them together because they're two different buckets of money. That's what it is. You got a bucket of money here and a bucket of money there. So, I mean, that's,
And we got anything already for,
we've already programmed that bridge, well, 2 bridges. And you know, the one on Hickory Fellowship, we programmed it, and then the one on Pleasant Valley, Pleasant Ridge,
No, Mount Pleasant.
Mount Pleasant.
we're gonna fix that one.
Well, everything.
Well,
The water.
y'all told me to program it. You
So that 242 is really allocated to that, is that right? Am I thinking right? Unobligated as of December 31, that's already toward those 2 bridges.
No, that's
Unobligated.
That's what you got left. 531 is what's obligated.
That's those 2 bridges.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, where you at?
On the third page,
Oh,
under
We
LSBP.
might cut some
Oh.
of loose.
no, see, those 2 bridges are on state aid roads.
So that wouldn't fall under it.
They're on state aid routes, so that will fall under SAP funds. Those would be SAP funds.
So is that the
That's the top part
117?
of
That's
that.
the top part.
What's the 531 down there then?
That's new money.
That's new money for LSBP.
So we got 773 in the pot.
Right. Huh?
That's what all my money's spent
Well, a big part of it is. But now, at one time, they said they wasn't gonna program any road projects, but there's enough people that don't have bridges bad that they said Bush said they will make exceptions for districts that need road projects.
I know we got some bridges, but I got some roads that need to be resealed.
All right, look on the very first page.
We all do.
The very first page, it said they'll be approved based on the following priorities. You see, the first thing is bridge, rehabilitation. That's their first main priority. And then second priority will be roadway. You know, roadway, reseals, whatever.
Butch rides these roads. He tells us they need to be resealed. I'm sure he'll help us push the roads off the project.
I think he will. Oh, yeah, I know he will. So this is what we got to work with for the next 4 years.
So let me kind of back up. We got Mount Pleasant Road Bridge is under this.
It's
that
programmed.
We programmed, and also Hickory Fellowship.
That's right. Because, remember, they had to be closed. They were so bad shape, they had to be closed.
It's not ever gonna be brought back to standard.
You can patch it now, y'all can patch it and to keep it open.
Yeah, that's all we're doing, is just keeping it open.
So, I mean, is there more to be spent on that, is what I'm getting at?
Well,
And
you're never gonna keep it, you're never gonna keep it at 84,000.
That's what.
No, you can't patch it that good.
And as much timber as he is coming out of there, they gonna stay on him until he replaces
So
that bridge.
are we saying we're gonna replace that bridge, is what I'm asking?
Yeah, the one.
How much money we got
yes.
obligated or assigned to that?
I hadn't finished figuring, I hadn't finished writing that program. I got to figure that. I've
So
been
is that
figuring
not,
it.
is that not in this money that we just got through talking about?
Yeah, they got you 2 million.
No,
It'll be taken out of
it's
that.
in that 117, isn't it?
Yeah, won't that be out of?
Unobligated is what he's asking.
That's that 117 unobligated SAP fund, right?
Part of that would be,
No, that's what we had left before we got your new money.
I understand that, but I'm saying, we assigned that money to those 2 bridges. Am I not correct?
no, because I hadn't wrote the program up. You know, we write it up, y'all sign it, everybody signs it, and we turn it in, and the state approves it. We hadn't done all that yet. So far, y'all have just
Well,
done
you
the
had-
order. So far, y'all just done the board order to get me to write the program up, to turn it in. So it's not in these figures here. They've not subtracted it out.
But that's where it's gonna
What's this?
come.
That's where it's gonna come
What's
from.
this 117, 195?
That is actually, that is,
2019, what's that money?
that is actually, you see it's in parentheses.
Yeah, that's mine.
We're in the hole that much.
That's normally what rents do.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah,
We spent more than we had.
They
let us,
yeah,
because we use our money.
that's right. They've let us, which I don't understand how they let us spend $100,000 we don't have. I don't understand that, but they've covered us. In the past, we've run over them, they've covered.
Then why are we talking about those 2 bridges? I'm still not clear on what we're saying. Kenny, do you understand what we're saying here?
I'm going to different thought. Now, this top money here, that's normally what we use for reseals and
Reseals,
road projects, but
road
we very
projects.
seldom use it on bridges.
Not much,
And,
not too much.
nope, and, that's when the reseal, the striping and all of that kind of stuff. But this, local bridge system, LSBP fund, that's what we normally use for bridges.
On what, on county
On
roads?
county roads, not on the state.
Well, and that's, see, we've not been, that's the thing,
I know.
it's statewide. most people have been spending this money on reseal roads, and the bridges have been deteriorating. We've been spending all our money on
We didn't have enough money to do any bridge work, that's,
well,
I mean, that's the bottom line.
time you do a road project, I mean, it'll eat up $1 million quick. You know, last time we spent $2 million on reseal, you know, the fog seal and all that. We spent about $2 million.
Which that fall to seal is the way to go there.
Yeah.
Kenny's Road shows that. I mean,
Oh,
no
yeah.
question.
$2 million, how many miles of road?
It's about 40 miles, I think, we've done.
We got, no, it wasn't that. But
Yeah,
I give Kenny
It's
and
30
Charles
something.
some, I give Kenny and Charles some, and all I did was 2 miles. It wasn't 40 miles. Yeah, don't believe it's about that much.
Yeah, 'cause we moved it around because the time before Joe gave us some, I gave mine to somebody else.
That's exactly right.
time you split it
Because
five
we
ways.
didn't have enough to complete a project, and we did, I think it was on Charles Road out
I
there.
was thinking 30 or 40.
And your road right out here.
Yeah,
I give
you
you-
right
I
there.
gave you this out here.
I
Yeah,
had Lawrence come and have it in part-time work, about 6 miles altogether.
It may have been 40 miles, I didn't think it was quite.
Guys, I apologize, but I'm gonna go back again, 'cause
Yes.
I'm not understanding.
Okay.
I thought we, whatever the term is, allocated, obligated or something, some money for these 2 bridges.
Once we got it,
No.
Right. We have, in other words, y'all agree, y'all done the board order, and give it to me to write a program to turn into state aid. They approve it. And then they take the money, they allocate the money.
So-
That hadn't been done yet.
So where I'm at, though, I thought we had a couple $100,000 already in the fund before January 1st, 2020.
No, that's that 100,000 in parentheses, way in the hole.
Because at one time, we were talking about doing those,
no, I know where you're going. That's the money they putting on this McElhaney Bridge up here. That's where you're getting that from. That money is
Yeah.
already been spent. It's on McElhaney Road.
But now that's LSBP, that's
Yeah.
really a whole different, that's a different
that's
bucket.
the one at the bottom down here where it
That's
shows,
right. That's-
shows 242 down here.
Okay, yeah, that's what you're thinking, I see what you're thinking, at 242. We had that
That money
available,
was available before 2020,
right,
242.
that's LSBP money.
So is that 242 obligated into McElhaney?
It is,
So we can just strike that, it's gone.
and, well, yeah,
that can be the
We're
bridge.
gonna build that bridge, ain't it? Where did it come in at?
we're getting some good bid, there's a lot of people interested in this little bridge. So we may get some good bids. Whatever, remember, they was taking money out from these counties that hadn't been spending their money.
That's why
Remember
we-
they told
yes.
us, they call it rescinded funds.
Yes.
They've been taking it out and we was in line, we was like next in line to get, in fact, Butch told me, we gonna get rescinded funds. They gonna give it to us. They take them from them and give it to us. Cause we've been good about spending. We need it.
Is that yet to come?
Well, here's what Butch told me. Since we got this money, this $500,000, they gonna take it out of this money. But what he said, don't worry, he said, what we need to do is program another LSBP bridge. Cause all that money, that rescinded funds, is froze.
It's still sitting over.
It's sitting there, it's froze, because all counties has got new LSBP money. So he said, Butch said, what we need to do is program another LSBP project, and the same thing, same rules apply. If we shy, they gonna give us some money.
Okay,
So, that's 2 different.
my question is, these counties that hadn't been spending their money,
Right.
and this money was taken from them,
That's right.
will they be allocated money this time, even though they didn't spend
I don't
what that the
know.
last time?
I don't know.
I mean, that wouldn't make a whole lot of sense.
Could
No,
be talking about Tyler.
And LSBP
Yeah, they're
can't be used on state aid.
can't be used on state aid.
How many more LSC
That's this.
these bridges have we got left
Well,
after McElhaney,
we're,
besides Riley?
right now, we're in the middle of bridge inspections. So right now, I don't know, I can use last year's figures, but
Because we want to go ahead and program another.
yeah, that's what we need, that's what y'all need to be thinking about is what program, but y'all need a list of something to go by.
You got one? LSBP?
Yes,
You got
I
two,
got one every time.
you got two on that Pine Ridge Road.
You got that, Lawrence Bustle too.
See, that's on state aid now. That's state aid.
You sure about that?
Is that a blue road? They get the road blue?
Road Blacks.
Hey,
See, the only LSBP you got is Riley Bridge, and that ain't near it all.
And it's, well, it's programmed federal, remember?
That's right.
We got a federal project. Remember,
That's-
we're working, that's
That's a
another
different
bucket.
budget.
Huh?
That's a different budget.
That's a whole different bucket of money right there.
Okay. As long as we find that budget.
Yeah, and we working on it. We still, it's supposed to.
Don't you understand when you be trying to decide what road?
It's a state aid project, see, here's the difference.
Ain't that what we really get?
It's just hard to figure out. You got a state aid project, a state aid route, and a state aid road. A state aid route is that sometime in the past, the board voted to make this route like Hickory Little Rock Road. It's a state aid route. And they had a project on one end, they had another project on the other end. But now in the middle, it had never been done, nothing done. But it's still a state aid route, but it's not a state aid road. The state aid road is something I call, it's been built. Built up 3-to-1 slopes, pavement thickness and all that. Right away, that's actually a state aid road. The striping, that's the easiest way to tell, is one got striping on it, probably state aid road. State aid route means it could be the same road, but it's never had a project, it's never been built. It ain't got right of way, it ain't got shoulders, it ain't got.
It means it's like my good hope road right here. It's state aid in the middle, but it's a
That's
state
it.
route on both ends.
That's it. So for some reason, they built it in the middle and they didn't build each end. So, and that's on this page, on this sheet 1, that's that at the bottom, at the very bottom, new construction. Butch says there probably ain't gonna be no new construction anywhere because the bridges are so bad shit.
Speaking of, Butch set a date to come.
He did he send y'all a letter?
Mhm.
It's when y'all was in Jackson, we had the thing in Jackson. He called me he said, wanted to set a date. Steve was out of pocket, everybody was out of pocket. He said, well, let's just pick these dates. And, I said,
What's the
well,
date?
well, did he not send you a letter? It's 25th and 26th, I think.
March.
Good, that's what we kind of getting there.
We share the money.
No, I thought he sent y'all,
What day is that, Joe?
March and February.
March.
he didn't send y'all a letter?
Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah.
He did send you a letter?
No.
All I've got is the McElhaney Road project came in
Oh,
a brown envelope.
Well,
Confirm.
Now, I saw that Oscar, that's the Oscar.
Confirm for us and,
Cause I was,
confirm for us
yeah,
this evening.
so I tried to get you, he was in Jackson, so he said, well, let's just do it, send a letter out, if they can't do it, we'll change it.
25th, 26th.
I'm pretty sure. Don, I don't write it down, don't write it down.
It's written down, that's when we're
I
gonna do it.
wrote it down.
That's when we're gonna do it. Y'all not there, we're gonna do it.
Okay, is that the time that we,
So,
I know, used to, state aid made recommendations on roads that need to be sealed and straightened?
yeah,
Do we need to,
no, we need to wait, I think. No, this ain't nothing to decide on today. No, y'all, we need to think about what y'all wanna do and how y'all wanna do it. I was just bringing it to you today. I looked down here, I can see where the county got a copy, so I better get y'all a copy.
okay, what else you got for us?
And Pat Harrison. Oh, here's what I got drawn up for you, y'all. Wanna turn in another project to Pat Harrison. All right, well, I think if y'all wanna keep rotating it, it's, Joe's turn.
No, let's don't keep it.
No,
No.
you wanna do that?
I've got two.
Since it's my turn, if y'all don't have a problem with it, I'm gonna pass this one up and give it to Jackie.
I already got
You already
two.
got two
You
of them?
got Tatum.
You,
You got
I got
Tatum.
Tatum and we got one
Are they
on
both
Lucy
open?
Lane.
on Lucy Lane, and you guys got another one.
No, I don't need any more.
That ain't never been nothing done.
What's
He's got one right here, so, Mo, do you know if Charles has got anything that's pressing on him? He done all the stuff.
He just finished.
He just finished his.
Alright, you can run with it, y'all.
What do you got?
We may do that railroad bridge, pretty cool.
Culverts?
I think we can make it work.
You want on that dirt road?
Paint Lawrence about.
The one you were talking about putting the two round culverts in the place of the bridge? I'm telling you, they'll pass, they'll work there.
I think Dwayne
Did
thinks it needs more colors than two, is the problem.
Yeah, did we figure that the other day? I can't remember.
You didn't figure it the other day, but you figured it.
Sometime. How many culverts was the figure?
I think you said four.
4 culverts.
No, we can take it.
How big
Let's
is you,
let's go down and look at it.
how big is you, how big is your creek?
I think it's about 19 feet across, 8 feet below. I think two colors does that.
If nothing else, you put 360.
A lot of water comes down through there.
Hey, they gonna want you. Because of what I done, I told you, they want, that Harrison, what told me, I hear on,
Hopewell?
no, Chapel Hill.
Oh, yeah.
360s, they'll agree to that, cause that's bigger than your stream. It gives you some overflow. And that's what I had to do right here in Chapel Hill.
We'll go back for the figure if you
Well, I
want.
was thinking about a couple of eights is what I was thinking about.
You got enough pipe in your road,
I think so. Because the road actually needs to be built up about.
they make 64, give you 100. What is that, 128 feet of water, is what you move to 8 foot.
Anyway, let's look at that a little closer.
Okay.
Thank
You will.
All right.
I've got a question on
you.
this.
It's a whole lot cheaper than putting a bridge.
And maybe we'll start doing something.
On your item list,
That's an awful list.
Yeah.
you listed 1 inch cover.
And I got 3 on there.
I'm not seeing, I mean, on your
The
item
way I
list.
read this, we got 2 of these. We obligated
Oh.
one there, 2.5 there.
I got 112, oh, that's just a number.
Done about
Okay,
That's just a number.
60, so,
You got 180, 120.
so that's
Big
2.
3, 40 foot culverts.
Okay.
I think it's 3
Okay.
of them. And 40 foot each.
We going, plastic.
One, that's it, Pat Harrison project.
I'll blow my house. Flows fail. Right here. We'll get that bridge put in. The last bridge can't put in for the county. No, bridge needs,
Down below.
yeah, bridge needs to stay there.
So you just gotta build up.
The road
Yeah.
is flooding out.
You know what other project they got out there?
Yeah, you got a Pat Harrison project.
Yeah.
It's on Hickory Road and it's back.
Oh, yeah, that's that other one. We're probably not gonna do that.
That's neat, Cal.
Otherwise, Creek.
New Calvin Road. It's actually on your property now. I think we talked about it then.
That really cool. Yeah, we talked a little bit about.
One's been hanging out there.
Yeah, it's been hanging out, sitting there, but they don't care if they just let it sit there. To them, it's,
Well, I asked Jimmy about it, he said he figured when he done it, it was gonna be more work involved and what you were gonna get out of it.
yeah.
Which one?
Why don't you and I look at this?
This
That's
is
right there
the
at
old
that
one
bridge,
on
right?
Yeah,
New bridge.
alright.
About
Let's you and I look at it.
All right.
We'll
You
also
gotta build
look
a
at
road
this.
up.
culverts to
No,
replace the rest of the bridge.
okay.
Know what we're talking
I'm
about.
not really
Okay.
sure.
Like culvert work, we
This
won't even go
back
back.
in Jimmy's turn.
Go back to Joe.
Okay. That'll work.
What else you got, Dwayne?
Now, what was the bad news?
That we wasn't gonna get any rescinded funds on our LSB.
We done heard that part.
Yeah, you done heard
He
that.
broke it to us easy.
That's it.
We didn't even notice.
Yeah, it didn't hurt it, did it? All right. That's all. Be thinking, but I will, like I say, they're right in the middle of bridge inspections. And they get it narrowed down to what bridges needs to be replaced, you know, to give y'all something to look at.
So who's doing this inspection now?
The same guys that's been doing it.
Federal,
No,
state?
well, the routine, the normal stuff is the same bunch. You know, Mr. Mosley that
Yeah.
died, his boys, they're still doing it. But yeah, that's the routine, just regular old bridges. Then you got the timber bridges is by somebody else out of state, I don't even know. And then you got metal bridges is by people down in Mobile.
So who determines whether we close them or not?
The inspectors,
I mean, all three of them?
well, each one's got his,
Special?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, which,
You think we're gonna have some more closed?
well, I don't think there's gonna be any new ones. Cause the ones, you know, y'all patched up the ones that we had closed.
Did you ever get clearance?
I've been on them, and
I'm still waiting.
That secret
they
code
have been out, they have actually been out and inspected them. And then they take all their information and send it to what you call load raters. The load raters are actually the ones that says, you know, they set the load rating. 5 ton, 20
That secret
ton,
fellowship in Pine Ridge that we have.
Pine Ridge, yeah.
Was there another?
Yep, Newton Calhoun, but see, we've done, it's replaced already. It was on that list. Newton Calhoun was on the
Oh,
list.
yeah.
It was on that list.
The one we put in the new bridge.
Right.
Right.
Can you find out my bridge on Piccolo Rock Road, last rated at 17 tons? Can you find it out?
Didn't it have exposed pile, the metal pile that,
Well, if it does, I can fix that. I need to know.
yeah,
I'll go in there and cap on the concrete.
yeah. If I remember right, I think that's
I'll
all.
take it off, so
Or
allow that in.
had the grout come out from the,
Y'all never told me.
no,
I never got a report, but I need a report from me and my guys.
well, there. Might check the,
But they hauled 412 loads, 84,000 pounds across the bridge. No, they ain't going,
We're
we're
probably
cutting
gonna
out.
push that thing over, and we're gonna probably walk them big ones.
All right, what else you got for us?
that's all.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
All right. And I gave Mr. Charles, I gave him one of them sheets, so I told him to read it. It's self-explanatory. All right, we'll see y'all later.
Thank you.
All right, George, so you got some more stuff?
I got a,
Newspaper guy.
first off, I've got to go to my Ole Miss school tomorrow and Wednesday and Thursday, 4, 5, 6 in Jackson is paid for. I just need permission to travel.
So moved.
All in favor?
I got a, I guess there's anything wrong with it, nobody's reviewed it, but I got a Gmail from Louisiana Mississippi Regional Group of Blinded Veterans Association is requesting that March 28th, 2020 be proclaimed as Blinded Veterans Day. And they've got a proclamation in here.
Who's that from, Joe?
The Louisiana Mississippi Regional Group of the Blinded Veterans Association.
We ever dealt with them before?
First time I ever saw this, but it's just declaring March 28th of each year as Blinded Veterans Day and a proclamation by the board. Do you need to look at that, Jason? I mean, I don't see nothing unusual about it. Just never have had anything from them.
There's so many of these groups out here, you just wonder if it's legit.
So they're not asking for any money, they just want us to do a proclamation.
I guess that would give them grounds to turn around and make phone calls if we did a proclamation, is what I was thinking. So moved.
So,
Would y'all to approve?
All in favor? James says okay.
Charles and who?
Charleston,
Joe? Jack?
Jackie.
I got 2 school bus turnarounds. One on George Amos, that's the Charles Greenfield Road. And one on 1456 Kitchener Road, I guess that's Charles too. Y'all normally approve them, then he works them if he wants to.
Go get a motion to accept the school bus
so
turnaround.
move.
Right.
All in favor?
That's one other thing. And then we got Steve's. I've got I got employee changes. I'll read them real quick. Wes Williams, B2 at $16.32 an hour full-time. Gary Seal, new deputy, $40,000 a year. John Eddie Hodge, landfill, $12.50 an hour full-time. Fred Hardy, salary at Sheriff's Department from $36,392 to $41,500. Andrew Barry Roberts, Sheriff's Department, $36,992 to $35,002.
He went down, 36 to 35 is down.
No, $36,992 to $35,002. And then Max Bounds, $36,992 to $35,002, Sheriff's Department. All this them. You all have always participated, Jackie, you don't know, but we do a county map, and these people come around selling them. Do you all want to continue that?
Charles brought up a good point about that. We've got census coming up, is anything gonna change? After the census?
I mean, all the boundary maps of the county, not gonna change road names, are they?
No, but our districts may change.
Well, is it broken up a bit somewhere?
Yeah, should be.
Well, you won't, well, you had probably the one where you do that next year.
Census this year, but
Well, they got
You won't have
I
six.
probably won't have that information.
But I bought 50, and I think y'all get 100 or something like that.
So, that you purchased, they're gonna be good, might be good for 1 year.
Yeah, they won't last a year, we
They'll
never
do
get
it
enough.
another year anyway.
But evidently, whatever we buy and whatever the city buys is the only source of a local map that we have to hand out to anybody that comes around.
I've got one of them around there when she left. You want me to go get it?
Yeah.
Where do we put our 100? In your office, Steve?
I think so.
Cause they came to the house.
And I've got a,
What's that price go for that?
it's on my desk and I think it's $600. But mine was like 200 and something. Y'all got a better deal. I've got the, December mobile home roll. I need somebody to make a motion to accept.
So moved.
Hey,
All in favor?
let's hope it's right. George.
This thing is good.
I'm gonna put this presented by tax assessment. Let me run downstairs, I'll just go get that. I thought I brought it up here.
Ma'am?
No, the contract.
Steve's gonna get something.
Y'all look at the map, I won't be in a minute.
Beach are shaded on it.
Yeah, I knew they were. You used to make them pink, purple, blue.
Then on the back's got now.
City.
So basically, we're not gonna be changing anything till sometime mid next year probably, right?
If you
Then
look.
they'll do a new map.
and doing 100, is that what he said? Much of
He's gonna actually see, he thought $100 to $600.
I mean, $6 a piece.
he was
That's what he said he thought it was, he's gonna look, see.
selling this to the green one. That Steve be responsible for that money. Excuse me. They sell advertising to people to go on these things, don't they?
Around it,
They making more than $6 on it. I guarantee you that.
it wouldn't be good.
See, Jason got the sign.
Outside.
See what I'm telling
I've done that several times in the past.
You're right.
You run up there and I'll talk.
Look at that boy, he's got one in $500.
Oh, there's the man.
That's what I'm talking about.
You do it this year, did you say Richard Schwartz commercial?
Yeah, that's my mistake right there.
Got a good
The Super Bowl, Richard Schwartz
on
commercial.
the Super Bowl.
Did y'all see it?
Oh, okay, I think
Yeah,
so.
did y'all see it?
No, I didn't watch it,
Oh, wait,
It was everything.
everything, that's not right.
Looks like my kid and my friend's family.
you gotta get you a catch. He's got one call, that's all. You need some.
Turn your crash into cash. Or the Alabama house, the Mississippi house.
Yeah.
I did see saw an ad and she was down on the coast one time. And it just popped up and there were lights that flashed and everything. It said, tired of taking all drugs? You running from a pump? It's so called, got the number. No, that's a pretty good target ad right
How
there.
much was it, Ken?
$650 for $150.
I bought the bills on a little, it's still expensive.
Put it down there, just over $5 fee.
I make a motion, we do what we've been doing on these maps. It's more than 100, whatever the number is.
Well, it's $150 to get that break, so I reckon that's.
I'll say.
Oh, you saying be better to do 150?
Going to that.
Yeah, but my 50 was $280.
150 was what, 6?
$650. I think they gave us a deal.
And I revise my motion, Mr. President. We'll do this. We'll do the 150. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, that's what we've been doing.
Showcase the county's natural resources.
And these will be laminated.
Yeah, but that hundred turned into be $150.
Be what? Kenny?
Laminated, it says, well, it said also available, wall mounts, 3,
You have to,
3 by
that'll be extra too, I'm sure.
75 or laminated.
One of your representatives sent the lady over here.
Yeah, Randy called me. Could we get a motion, could we get a second to John's motion?
One they did, Charles and Jack.
I'll second it again.
All in favor? Okay.
That's yours.
Did you sign it? The second sheet contract. You can have the map if you want.
Appreciate it. I'm gonna keep the clip to me. Keep that clip.
New Albany. New Albany, just had a little.
What else you got, Joe?
That's all I've got, sir.
Steve.
What about the yoga?
Wait a minute.
I'm signed up for that.
We have, some senior citizens wanting to start a yoga class down at the senior citizens building, if y'all don't have any objection.
You gonna go on?
No, I can't. The one that came in,
Hey,
she can get her leg up behind her, she'll be
easy,
doing good.
easy.
Easy now.
Let him talk.
Dental pictures are done.
Go get a motion to that effect.
I'll make a motion.
I'll say.
All in favor?
It's the hang, y'all shut up.
Steve?
Delinquent Justice Court funds for the month of December 21 through January 20, $468.24. American Municipal Services were $1,038.70. 131 new cases opened, $42,525 levied, $2,809.50 collected from those new cases, and 29 dismissals. MDOT has approved advertising to replace a bridge on McElhaney Road. They'll be open on March the 2nd at 10:30. And this is that big packet if anybody wants to look at it. The county has received first payment for the use tax from the state. Money's got to be spent on road and bridge. Y'all we've got a new budget for it. I need you all to approve the budget for that fund. Need a motion.
To open the funds, that what you're trying?
To approve the budget. I had to make, auditor's office says you gotta make a new budget for each new
How
fund.
did you split it?
I just stuck it in there. I didn't split
Got
it in.
one,
So
one total max.
split it.
Yeah,
Got
yeah.
the one over whatever.
I've got,
Equal and road miles different.
I put like 220,000 in for revenue and 220,000 going out for road and bridge purposes. Y'all split it however you like.
So moved.
Now, can I, question.
How do y'all gonna work?
That revenue is for,
Road and bridge purposes.
but I'm saying that's for more than 1 year.
No, well, what's coming in this year is about 220,000.
Okay, now you get another check in July.
Okay, that was just a payment, what we saw.
Comes
Yeah.
quarterly, is that what it is?
No, twice a year.
Twice a year. What was it, 108?
But now it's gonna go up every year.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna get some pretty substantial money in like your cities.
I got 5 highlighted, I told you
You made the motion?
Hmm?
I got a second.
All in favor?
So Kenny, that's something we need to talk about a little bit later.
Yeah, we need to know how to split it. You do?
that. Where's the 2 something, I just see 102, what I'm asking,
That's what he's projecting for the whole year.
Oh, for the whole
Yeah.
okay, it's just projected.
MAS Minority Caucus wants to know if you want to advertise, 400, 250, or 150.
This is my first time hearing about this. I'm gonna get some more information before I.
Just see if I can find it.
Motion to table it, or do we-
Table it, no, you did have it, and I could have it.
Done what I had to do.
I have gathered up most of it,
We all.
We gonna have a long, you gonna have to know what it is. We just took care of it,
Okay.
All right, Mississippi State University is acting through the Extension Service, wanting to know if you all will sign an interlocal agreement. This interlocal agreement means that instead of paying Leanne and everybody a separate check, they'll get one check from MSU. So we won't be writing them a paycheck anymore, we'll send the money to MSU, they'll do all the payroll up there, everything else remains the same. If you all will approve that interlocal agreement, we'll move forward with it.
What about raising and stuff? Who's gonna decide that?
We only pay what we pay. You know, MSU gives raises every year.
Well, I know we decided not to pay one time.
We said we weren't gonna pay for the office staff.
Okay.
I
But
think
we went back and changed that back.
I think what we discussed was we basically lose control once that check's gone. If we
That's
have
right.
any control at all.
Right.
Now we have no control.
You have,
You really don't have none of that.
now,
We have control not to send the check.
I realize that, when I want that girl fired, we didn't have a control. That's what we want to do.
they they hire who they want, but you all approved it. So it's sort of like a tax office or sheriff's office.
It's kinda like you're gonna pay it, and they're gonna
Everything good or somebody else?
send it, yeah. I know I heard some of the other supervisors talking about, they had some girls, or maybe it might have been a man, that was ready to step in that office in another county, and I think it's Jasper, but I may be wrong, and the girl was qualified and everything else, and Mississippi State stepped over her. The board didn't have any control, they accepted who state sent to them. And I don't think that's right, but I don't wanna, your hands is tied, I guess, the way to look at it. I don't like that. But if it makes the world easier, I guess that's what we're supposed to be trying to do. So we'll just be giving them a check, tell them to do what they want to do with it.
They'll write their own payroll. We won't be doing payroll.
We just send the extension, so.
So we do a monthly check now?
Yeah, 3 or 4 of the employees get a check from us and from MSU. So this change.
Now they won't even know where that money come from, it'll just be one check.
It'd be one check from MSU.
I tell you, what thing you gotta say.
Yeah, we got to say, we don't have to vote to do it.
And you ain't gonna accomplish anything, I tell you. Either way.
You're not getting a whole lot of services out of that anymore, that office over much anymore. You got some, but
What do you think, Ken?
I mean, support decision. Jason, what you think?
I think it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. I mean, there are provisions in there that give us some say in the process, but I think the reality of it is that we don't have a lot of stroke in that process. I think the net effect is gonna make Steve's office's job a little easier, instead of having to do 3 or 4 checks, and having to worry about all the payroll and everything going through there. They're gonna send, a check along, with the invoice to Mississippi State Extension, and they'll be out of it.
Kind of be the same, kind of be paying the same money, but just be going to a different distribution center.
That's right. We're sending one check instead of 3 or 4 separate checks.
We do it monthly or we do it annually?
So actually, it's not gonna change anything. When they hire somebody, do we have any say-so in that, or they just bring it who they want to, and,
you approve who they send you.
pretty much,
They didn't.
well, what's the set board?
Staffing levels for the county extension office will be determined by MSUES. Upon MSUES determining the position needs to be filled in the county extension office, MSUES will seek a board order. The board order will confirm the amount of funding the county will provide for the position and any county policies that the employee will be required to follow.
And here, guys, what we willing to pay.
It says when they hire somebody, they're gonna follow their policies and procedures. County Board of Supervisors will have a voting member, on the interview committee for each position to be filled.
Very correct. Just do, I can bear with you.
All right, what's the vote?
I don't make a motion to change it, just write one check to Mississippi State.
Second, all in favor? Opposed?
Well, I'm gonna vote for it.
Just hot water.
This, okay, Steve.
Monday, February 17th, is a state holiday, it's George Washington's birthday. MAS Minority Caucus sponsoring a U-turn workshop.
I'm not attending that.
It's February 20th, anybody wants to go, it's $50 for members.
It's a long drive for half a day meeting.
Yeah. Postage machine. We currently have a postage machine that Pitney Bowes, and it doesn't work half the time. And we've tried for several months to get them to fix it, they won't do it. We have another company that has offered to come in to pay off the lease, which expires in June, and will charge us for $195 for a new digital postage machine, which is about $53 a month less than what we're paid. And if you all would do it, I would like you to approve this new contract with MMC Mississippi.
Clarification, that amount of money is a monthly fee.
Monthly fee,
So that's $100 and what, a month?
$195 a month. Right now, we're paying $250.
It's so close to this expense.
Guarantee. So moved.
So,
All in favor?
are you adding on signing that contract with MCC or MMC or whatever it is?
Yes, I need to clarify that. Yes, that would include signature of the contract. I guess without the contract though, any other motion would be void.
All right, B2 buried horses at 1891 Chapel Hill Road and at 2460 Chapel Hill Road. B3 buried a horse at 357 Barfoot Road. Dr. Melinda Barnes and William Mars stated the horses needed to be buried because of possible infectious and contagious disease. Copies of the certificates in the minutes. The Newton Homemaker Volunteer Awards Luncheon will be Thursday, February the 6th.
And they do need to know who's going.
I've got a list.
Okay.
That's it? Okay.
Charles, they approved 2 school bus turnarounds in your
MIB?
district, yes, and it said for asphalt in them.
I certainly won't take that.
George Amos on Greenfield Road and Michael Edwards on Kitchener Road. They realized that you can or cannot work on whatever you want to do.
And who was the last one?
This road, Michael C. Ward, 1456 Kitchener Road.
Thank you.
Town Lane.
I have not, it's not a county road, and I hadn't tried to describe it as a turnaround.
Did you, we supposed to do this in June, ain't these school bus turnaround?
They're supposed to have them in the first week in September.
They moved it from June to September because
Okay.
Yep, school's not in June.
The crane tractor man show,
Yes.
what's he want us to do?
You ever use them?
They can bring us parts and deliver them to your barn, ever.
They don't charge for
for 2 weeks, I think you said.
Yeah. They don't
Yeah,
charge
we
for
use them for on them ditching blades.
Yeah, we use it for whatever. Time to.
Been good if he'd have been here last week, would.
Yeah.
Got anything, Jason?
No, sir.
Thomas, you got anything yet?
No, sir.
Mr. Thomas?
I do. Gonna go on Jimmy Slade plan, we got a little driveway, course, a ditch stopped up on side watching across.
Who'd you say, Jack?
Into the road, Jamie Slade, I think that's
Okay.
his Jamie name. On Hickory Little Rock. Yeah, Hickory Little Rock. And, Tony Dean of Dirt Pit on, Blue Spring Church Road. And Jeremy Luke of Dirt Pit on, Buckley Road.
Need a motion to go on?
I do those individually, and I do all that.
Is that a motion?
That is a motion.
We'll get a second to this real quick. All in favor? Anything else?
Done.
Mr. Moses?
I think I got something else, but I'll be out of time. Trying to look at my truck, I don't worry about everything now.
Okay, that's pretty much conclude everything. Or did y'all want to discuss that use tax? session with this other stuff.
What about the
Okay, it's about
advertising?
lunchtime, isn't it? Oh, it's advertised. Charles, this is, what,
That profile we do every year, but there's some additional.
Well, let's just do it.
is that a motion?
Yeah. Ain't nobody gonna pat you on the back.
Do we get a second?
Yeah.
Do we get a second to that motion?
Advertising the profile.
I guess both of them, you gonna do profile and feed purchase or what? He said the more we do, they're gonna come back and give you some credit.
Yeah, we didn't say what
Checks in
kind,
the mail.
it didn't say what kind of credit.
He is there too?
Justin,
Toon was here.
I mean Jason,
Deadline for this one is this and these other costs. Deadline for this one is that and these other costs.
Let's do the back for $1,250 and, on that flower thing, like that?
you back to cover $1,250.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my motion.
Kenny, that big advertise, pitch perfect now, that's not for just, that surely will cover all three schools, won't it?
I'm not sure about that, Joe.
Yeah, he said that lake.
He said.
Yeah, it cover all the
We
just
don't
cover,
need just good ones.
just cover all the schools.
Yeah, that fits all of them.
But the profile, which is that one,
Which is the one you've been doing, I don't know that we've ever done that
This goes out once or twice a year.
once.
We better do it, but.
I make a motion, we put Charles in charge of this and whatever decision he makes will be.
If we
Well,
got
I just told you mine. We do the back page for $1,200 and $1,200 on this, whatever it takes. We ain't broke. We ain't.
Speak for yourself.
well, George, you and Steve take these and,
We'll have to get a new picture on the profile.
yeah, and,
Unless
We
you
got
just-
one.
unless you take the head off,
No, we got-
Jackie, put it on the other body.
He took pictures for, at, the swearing in or anything we
That's
do.
right. Now, this one did that, Jason didn't do that, you
We'll
did
just
that,
go
right?
to Union Field.
You will then change the picture with him, won't you?
Is this one of the little fold outs
And
got
Rusty wants to
all
see
the
you.
schools, teams on it and everything?
yeah, and, this one here is this. Well, this is, that goes with that. So one or the other,
I still think headshot would pick you up.
Do that right
I think the vote did last time.
there. I know.
Yeah.
No respect.
So that'll be on this one.
No respect.
This one,
Remind me to tell you something.
All right, and this one.
So what do y'all decide to do?
Half page
this
of
one,
both.
we got check.
Y'all are taking care of this, he can get the check, would you please?
This one is this one.
We got a half page in here too, haven't we?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're not gonna downsize,
Gonna do 2.5 pages.
do half pages.
Me and Steve take care of
That's
it.
my motion.
All in favor?
Do we get a second?
Yeah, we did a second. I thought that was his motion. I thought.
I will say, I'm with y'all mowed all the way.
Yeah, buddy, you'll be, you be like me, you'll be sitting on the side.
All right, Rusty, we're gonna get you in, we're gonna get you in and, get you out here, because I know you don't wanna sit here after lunch, do you?
I'm working, whatever y'all
It's
schedule.
gonna be quick, let's get him.
Mr. President, I'll make, when we need,
In a close meeting session, let's go to discovery.
yes, thank you. I'll make that motion.
Go on, go.
Yeah. Now we need a motion to enter into executive session with Possibly economic development,
And personnel, so we can get into that.
and,
You could just recess out of that.
and personnel.